Hello, everyone, from the Kapro Club. To solve the questions you have. This is our second session. In this session, we'll talk about CRDI common rail, the exhaust gas from engine-powered cars. To understand this, first, the conditions for generating exhaust in a general diesel engine. Let's review them once more. The air intake must be good. It should be healthy. If air intake is faulty, smoke comes out. That's the point. Second, the compression of the inhaled air must be good. If compression is poor, exhaust gas is generated. That's the case. The conditions that cause compression failure. Nowadays, how do you choose your engine oil? Do you choose it because someone says it's good? Or, do you choose it arbitrarily because you think it'll be good? Did you make your selection like that? Next, for the oil change cycle recommended by the manufacturer. Do you change it at 10,000 kilometers as instructed? Or do you change it at 20,000 kilometers? The engine oil change cycle or if you choose the wrong engine oil, compression cannot stay healthy. That's the problem. Compression failure will soon occur. When compression failure occurs, as you saw in the previous lecture, the temperature T2 at the end of compression decreases. It goes down. If this decreases, the injection state, even if it's fine, exhaust will come out. That's what I said. So, you must choose the right engine oil. And the oil change cycle must be chosen appropriately. You might ask, what kind of car is mine? And at how many kilometers should I change the oil? I receive many questions like that. Another common one is, my car is a certain model. Which engine oil is best to use? That's what people ask. There are so many engine oil brands. Because of that, I cannot give you specific brand names. However, what I want to convey to you is, the viscosity of the engine oil is crucial. This viscosity, what exactly is viscosity? It's the degree of stickiness, the thickness. Please remember it this way. When you touch the oil, it feels slippery. It's sticky, or it might be thin like water. Each person will feel the stickiness differently. The reason this is considered so important is, nowadays, cars do not require valve clearance adjustments. Instead of manual adjustments, they use HLA, which stands for hydraulic lash adjuster. It's also called auto lash. Mechanics usually call it auto lash. The condition where this auto lash function fails is when the viscosity is wrong and the change cycle is not appropriate. That's when it happens. This is what causes compression failure. There are truly many cars with compression failure. There are so many of them. The third point is the nozzle or injector. It must inject a sufficient amount of fuel. That's the key. Fourth, the EGR function must be good. In other words, it must operate correctly. And the fifth point is contamination, blockage, or rupture of the exhaust pipe. These issues must not be present. Up to this point, we've covered general diesel engines. These were the conditions for exhaust gas generation. Blank. Exhaust gas generation factors for CRDI. Why does exhaust gas come out in a common rail engine? Why does it happen? Based on the supplemental explanation I just gave, that was for general diesel engines. Now, the second part is about exhaust in common rail engines. There is something called RPM. Revolutions per minute. If the RPM is low for 1 minute, exhaust gas can come out. If it's too high, a lot of smoke comes out too. Exhaust gas. Third, the accelerator position sensor. Mechanics call it APS. That's what they call it. Even if the APS value is wrong, exhaust gas is produced. Fourth is what we call RPS. Rail pressure sensor. Since it's a common rail engine, there is a part called the common rail. If rail pressure is too high or too low, smoke comes out. Fifth is the coolant temperature. One thing you often get confused about is, you say the dashboard always looks normal. However, the coolant temperature input to the ECU is different from the temperature shown on the dashboard. There is a separate sensor. That signal goes directly to the ECU. So, if the coolant temperature is wrong, for example, if it's too low, exhaust gas comes out. And if it's too high, exhaust gas still comes out. This is why I always emphasize the importance of coolant management. Please keep the importance of coolant in mind. The coolant currently being used in your car. What condition is it in right now? Consult with your regular mechanic about this. You must discuss it and get service to stop the exhaust. The problem most cars have is that the coolant temperature is abnormal. It's very important. Next, the sixth point. The injectors perform the fuel injection, even if the injection timing is slightly off. Errors in injection timing, to put it simply. If the injection timing is too advanced or too retarded, exhaust gas will come out. That's the case. Knowing whether the timing is advanced or retarded can be determined using a scanner. When the injection timing is advanced, that's what needs to be serviced. When it's retarded, in that case, only by fixing that reason will there be no exhaust gas. Seventh, something called AFS. It's the air quantity signal value. If the airflow sensor value is too high, high means smoke, low also means smoke, so you need to know if the sensor value is normal or abnormal. Of course, being too high or too low is abnormal. You must know the current air quantity sensor value of the engine. If you know that, you can tell if it's higher or lower than the reference value. Then, why is it high? Or why is it low? Finding the root cause and solving it is true maintenance, not just replacing the sensor. That's not what I mean. Eighth, there is boost pressure called BPS. If boost pressure is high or low, that's the issue. There are many cars where the boost pressure is high. Cars where it's low are extremely rare. If boost pressure becomes too high, exhaust gas is produced. Please remember this. Ninth, the operation value of the EGR valve. How much is the EGR valve currently acting up? Normal values range between 5% and 95%. It went out of the 5% or 95% range. Then, for what reason? Why did it go out of the normal range? Also, during the control process, why did it deviate from the normal range? That's what we need to fix. That is true maintenance. Just unconditionally replacing the EGR valve is the wrong approach. 10th, it's the engine torque control amount. The unit for engine torque control is Nm. If the torque control value is abnormal, smoke comes out. That's it. Another thing you should remember is 11th, the VGT control amount. VGT stands for Variable Geometry Turbocharger. That's it. Where is this attached? It's on the turbocharger. It controls the rotation amount of the turbo, making the turbo spin faster or making it spin slower. That's what it's for. Because the VGT control value is abnormal, it causes exhaust gas. In addition to that, if you know more, there is something I'd like to mention. 12th, there is the MDP learning value. And 13th is the injector driving voltage. If the injector voltage is above or below the reference, exhaust gas will come out. If the MDP learning value exceeds the limit, exhaust gas is produced. That's the point. Is common rail engine exhaust difficult? It's not difficult. It's actually quite easy. Since you are hearing my lecture for the first time, it might feel difficult. However, in reality, it's not like that. I've explained it to you. I'm not sure if you'll remember. No abnormality in the trouble code search. Then the car should be normal, right? But that is absolutely not the case. So even if there are no trouble codes, service data, what I just told you. Remember? If those have issues, that's why. From the RPM in the service data to the injector voltage, I've explained up to here. If those service data items are normal, there's no smoke. But unfortunately, in your car, if you diagnose the service data, abnormal items will be discovered. So, go to the repair shop you visit. Ask why exhaust gas is coming out of your car. They check the trouble codes. Since there are no trouble codes, they might say, it's normal. This is not right. I mean, this is wrong. The fact that exhaust gas comes out, or that there is no power, or that there is a smell from the exhaust pipe. In these cases, it means the service data items can never be normal. So it means the service data items are abnormal. Abnormal. That's why it's happening. If the ECU really had cognitive ability, it should show why this car currently has exhaust gas. It must show this. But the ECU is not human. Simply normal data values and comparing abnormal data values to control. It's just such a device. Because it's an ECU that doesn't have life, it doesn't appear in the trouble codes you search for. Service data items are showing it well. Everyone, the exhaust gas from your cars. Don't say it's difficult or it can't be fixed. Don't give up like this. Someone who will repair your car exists under this sky. I hope you have such a thought through this lecture, at least once. I hope you think about it. Most searched on CarPro Club about exhaust gas. I'll finish the second session here. Again, with the questions you might have. I'll see you. Thank you. Detailed explanation of the causes when each item is high or low end will be given in the future.